It's so beautiful. How it shines in the light, casting exotic reflections that dance across the room. How precise the white gem is carved into the shape of a man, each detail so lifelike it seems to breathe. How the white gold chain was beautifully forged, its links interwoven with an artistry that defies comprehension. This was by far my best purchase ever. The moment I saw it at a jewelry street stand in the middle of nowhere under the pale moonlight, I knew I had to have it. I had never seen anything so exquisite, so mesmerizing. The hooded man who sold it to me practically gave it away. A mere $100 for something so exquisite felt like a steal. He even tried to sweeten the deal with a fantastical story about how the necklace was discovered in the Arctic by explorers, locked away in a metal chest. But honestly, I couldn't care less about its origins or the tale behind it. All I knew was that I had to have it. The moment I laid eyes on it, nothing else mattered. So I paid the man, all the while ignoring his stories, and left. That was about 2 hours ago, and I lay in my bed, jewelry in hand, my gaze fixated on it. How could I take my eyes away from it? Its beauty speaks to me in so many ways, like the painstaking work in making such intricate links in the white gold chain, each one a testament to the artisan's skill, or the way the reflections off the gems seem to change color, creating an illusion of the carved man dancing gracefully. How the same carved man seems to speak silent words whenever I rotate the gem, whispering secrets that I wish I could hear. Sometimes, when I spin the necklace around, the man carved from the gem seems to come to life. His arms and feet appear to move, performing a delicate dance. At times I could swear I see him tilt his head and shift his body, as if acknowledging my presence. He appears so happy, almost jubilant, just as happy as I am holding this exquisite piece of jewelry. As I gaze at the gem, envy washed over me. I wish I could be as beautiful as the carved man. My own reflection in the mirror shows the very opposite. Acne scars from my teenage years mar my face. My body is far from the ideal. I am overweight, my clothes straining against my frame. My hair is thinning, with bald patches becoming more prominent each day. My eyes, once bright, now seem dull and tired. The gem's beauty only highlights my own imperfections, making me yearn for a transformation, a chance to escape my mundane appearance. I long to shed this skin, to become something more, something worthy of admiration. As I continue to stare at the gem, I begin to squint as I can see a reflection of myself in it. But it's not the same me. This reflection is a perfect version of myself. Flawless skin, a lean and toned body, thick, lustrous hair, and my eyes that sparkle with life. This idealized version of me seemed to flawlessly fit the gem carved as a man. It moved gracefully, as if it has a life of its own, without the necklace moving or rotating. It dances and gestures, exuding confidence and beauty. Everything I wish I could be. Another 2 hours passed. I'm still lying on my bed, still fixated on the necklace. I hear a knock on the door, the entrance to my rather small 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. This is the first time I broke my gaze from the necklace and instead focused it on the door. I approached the entrance door to my apartment and looked through the peephole. No one was there. Assuming they must have knocked on the wrong door, I walked back towards my bed to rest and resume my gaze upon the exquisite necklace and the gem. To my surprise, the carved man was absent from the necklace, its main centerpiece. I began to look for it frantically, thinking that I must have somehow accidentally broken it off from holding the necklace too tightly. And then I heard another knock from the door. Frustrated by the interruption, I rushed to the door and looked through the peephole again, only to find the shadow of a person walking past my door. I opened the door and looked down the right hallway where the shadow appeared to walk towards and saw the figure of a man turning around the corner. He looked very familiar. Maybe it was one of my drunk neighbors not knowing where they were, or a prankster knocking on random doors. Though I'd never experienced either. I thought nothing of it and continued to search for the carved man that had fallen off the necklace. However, I didn't feel the necklace in my right hand this time. I must have placed it somewhere without realizing it when I was distracted by the knock. Now even more frustrated, I looked for both the necklace and the carved man with renewed vigor. I searched on my dining table, end tables, coffee table. I inspected the couch, including under the pillows and underneath it. I checked the bedroom again, including underneath the bed and under my sheets. All that effort resulted in nothing. Frustrated beyond belief, I was about to restart my search in the living room until I heard that same knock on the door. I cursed under my breath and stomped towards the door, this time ignoring the peephole and placing my hand on the handle. But something stopped me from opening the door. I don't know why, but I felt uneasy this time. The people in this building are practically harmless, and I live in a safe, quiet neighborhood. This apartment complex requires a fob to enter the main entrance, so this should filter out all the non-residents. I checked the peephole and saw presumably the same familiar man from before standing right in front of the door with a smile on his face. He looked familiar, but I couldn't place where I had seen him before. His smile, though, unsettled me. As I continued to stare, I began to notice details that seemed oddly recognizable. His skin was smooth and unblemished, free from any imperfections. His body was lean and toned, the clothes fitting him perfectly, accentuating his ideal physique. His hair was thick and lustrous, cascading down in rich waves. His eyes sparkled with life and confidence. A sense of unease grew within me as I observed him. There was something about his features, his posture, his very presence that tugged at my memory. The way he stood, the way he smiled, it all felt familiar. Then, I noticed the necklace around his neck. It was beautiful, extremely beautiful. The chain seemed wrought by white gold with masterfully crafted interwoven links. But it seemed like it was missing something. Maybe a pendant or a gem. I immediately stepped away from the door with a huge surge of fear and adrenaline. That's when I realized the necklace he was wearing was the one I had been searching for in the last few hours. That was mine. But how? How could he have stolen it from my apartment? It's impossible. I looked through the peephole again, finding that the man was still there. He hadn't moved and still maintained that same awful smile. Wait. That smile, complemented with a single dimple on his left cheek. That's how I look when I smile. What? Is that me? Is that a perfect version of me? Standing right behind that door? I ran to my bathroom and faked a smile. It matched his smile. I looked at my hair, my eyes. Both were a good match, except his were gorgeous. It's me, but perfect. How? Why? My thoughts were interrupted when another knock came from the door. I immediately rushed to the living room, took a chair, and wedged it at the door, hoping that it would make it difficult for anyone to break in and enter. And then I took my phone and dialed 911 while maintaining my gaze at the door. All I heard was static. I looked at my phone and saw the time was 10:14 p.m. I checked my wall clock. 10:14 p.m. How can that be? I used my banking app to search for the timestamp of when I purchased the necklace, considering that's approximately when I got home. 10:14 p.m. Fear overtook me. I dropped my phone. This seems crazy to me. Did time stay still? What's going on here? Before I could crouch down to pick up my phone, I saw an arm effortlessly pass through the door. The arm was pale and slender, moving with an eerie grace, and then a leg followed, stepping through the solid wood as if it were made of air. The leg was perfectly formed, clad in elegant trousers that seemed to shimmer in the dim light. Slowly, the rest of his body emerged, each movement fluid and deliberate. His torso, dressed in a finely tailored shirt, slipped through the door without resistance. Finally, his head appeared, crowned with thick, lustrous hair that framed his flawless face. The man seemed to have walked through the door, all the while smiling, as if he were a ghost. I ran to my bedroom and locked the door. I screamed at the top of my lungs, demanding that he should leave before I either call the cops or hurt him out of self-defense. But we both knew that my threats carried no weight. My phone was in the living room, and the only weapon I had on hand was my desk lamp. Makeshift weapon in hand, I stood but 6 feet from the door. I mustered all the courage I could to prepare myself for anything that I might see. And then I saw him again, walking through my door effortlessly, his movements fluid and ghostly. His smile remained unwavering and unsettling as he passed through the solid wood as if it were mere air. I dropped my makeshift weapon, screamed in fear, and sprinted to my bed, hiding under my sheets. I prayed to God, hoping that I would be safe and make it out alive, knowing deep down that I wouldn't. Hours, or what seemed like hours, passed while I waited. The suspense was killing me, so I decided to peek through my bed sheets. No one was there. The sun was illuminating my bedroom through the window. The threat looming over me seemed to have vanished. What a beautiful day! I whistled happily as I got out of bed and prepared myself for the workday ahead of me. Everything from the night before seemed like such a blur. I don't recall why I was afraid. I picked up my phone and checked for any messages. Nothing. Any previous calls while I was asleep? Nothing. Everything seemed to be fine. I walked to my bathroom and inspected myself in the mirror. No blemishes? Check. No balding spots or imperfections in my hair? Check. The necklace around my neck seems to have dulled in beauty, though. How unfortunate. I could swear that the carved man represented the image of a perfect man, not this slightly overweight person with what looked like rough imperfections all around it. What a mistake it was for me to buy this thing. I must have been fooled by the lack of light due to nighttime conditions. I was about to dump the necklace into the trash bin, but something stopped me from doing so. I wasn't sure what. As I looked back at it again, I noticed that the expression of the carved man seemed sad, depressed, despairing even. This made me pause. I decided to wear the necklace once more. Maybe he will see the life that he should have been living a long time ago. Only this time, with me at the helm. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. A quick shout out to my patrons, Old Penguin, Rinku Star, Melissa Perez, Icy Narrates, Seven Cities Journalist, Cupcake Hips, Eric Cifuentes, Alonso, Austin My Love, Ellie Hutmeyer, Jesse Hartley, Lawrence Wallen, Mr. Sankofa, and William Hartley. I always try to link a different charity in the description, so go ahead and check that out. I'm also going to start having more things on my Patreon soon, so keep your eyes peeled. And as always, I'd love to know how I can be praying for you, so go ahead and drop a comment and let me know how I can do that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.